Hi, Black Cat Recapped here. Today I am going to explain a horror movie named Infinity Pool. The movie begins with James and M. Foster, a couple on vacation in the made-up seaside country of Leetolka. They wake up in a hotel room at a fancy resort. After that, the scene shifts to a group of local people getting ready for an event called the Summoning. Many of them wear spooky masks as part of their tradition. Meanwhile, James and M are just having breakfast. We find out that James is a writer who came to Leetolka for ideas. M wants to explore the town, but James isn't interested. So, M goes alone after breakfast. James watches a local person causing a commotion with a quad bike. A young woman named Gabi Bauer approaches James and says she's a fan of a book he wrote a while ago. Soon, her husband Alvin joins them, and they invite James to have dinner with them. That evening, the Fosters had dinner with the Bauers. Alvin, who used to design buildings, is now retired and runs a journal. Gabi is an actress who specializes in acting like things go wrong in commercials. She even pretends to struggle with cutting a bread. When asked about his next book, James admits he's not feeling inspired. It comes out that M's family is rich, explaining their comfortable lifestyle. Later, the two couples go to a club, and James and Gabi share meaningful looks while dancing. The next day, the Bauers invite the Fosters to join them for a trip to the countryside, even though there are rules against leaving the resort. The Fosters are uneasy because Leetolka has a high crime rate, especially for foreigners. Ignoring the rules, they rent a car locally and spend the afternoon at the beach. During the outing, Albin asks M why she married James. She shares that her father, who runs a publishing company, advised her not to marry a writer. However, she didn't care about her father's opinion because she doesn't like him. As night comes, the tipsy couples head back to the resort, with James driving. Unfortunately, the car's headlights have a problem, and James accidentally hits a man crossing the street, causing his death. Everyone panics, and James tries to call the police, but Gabi insists they shouldn't because the country is corrupt, and they won't be safe. They manage to return to the resort with Albin driving. The next day, police officers come to James's door and take him into custody for the hit and run. The Fosters are brought to the police station, where they are questioned separately. James is in a room, and Detective Thresh talks to him. Thresh says the car they used was borrowed from his uncle but tells James to lie during questioning. Thresh suggests blaming the Bauers for stealing the car, which they already admitted to doing. Thresh explains that in hit-and-run cases, the eldest son of a family is supposed to punish the perpetrator to protect the family's honor. However, Thresh gives James the option to clone himself, so the clone takes the blame. This is a rule for wealthy visitors in Leetolka. Confused, James agrees. After paying the money, James is undressed and covered in red liquid before being taken into a chamber. After some strange visions, James wakes up. When the process is done, James and M see the clone James and are told they must witness the execution. They watch as the victim's eldest son kills the double, who begs for his life. M is scared, especially since the double pleads. Detective Thresh then gives the ashes of the double to the couple. Shaken by what she saw, M desperately wants to leave the resort, but James can't find his passport, so they have to stay. James tells M to go without him, and she agrees. At the front desk, James tries to extend their stay and meets Gabi, who explains that Albin works as a consultant for the construction in Leetolka's resorts. During the installation of an infinity pool, 2 workers were killed, and the blame was wrongly placed on the Bauers, leading to their death sentence. The reason they are still alive is because they found out they can pay to be cloned. Gabi takes James to meet Albin and other rich tourists who also made doubles to take the blame for their crimes. They share their plan with James, which involves breaking into the owner's resort to steal recently awarded medals. They convince James to join them. Wearing creepy masks, the group goes on a hedonistic adventure. They break into the owner's home while they're busy, tie them up, and things go awry when another guest, who was hiding, starts shooting at them. Albin gets shot in the leg, and Gabi fights back, killing the hidden guest. They all get arrested and forced into an execution room. Despite James trying to resist, the whole group is killed. The camera then shows the group clapping and cheering as they watch their clones being executed, like it's a show. James goes back to his hotel room and finds them still there. Upset with his choice to stay at the resort, he coldly tells her to go back to her father. James is then seen sitting alone before Gabi comes up to him. After talking, they start kissing and go to her room where they take some traditional root medicine and end up having fun with the whole group. Later, the group plans to kidnap Thresh. In the evening, they enter the facility, and James waits outside. They bring in a man with a bag over his head, and James starts beating him. When Gabi unmasks the man, James realizes it's one of his own doubles, which disturbs him. He runs back to his room and finds his passport hidden in the bathroom all this time. The next morning, James gets on a bus to leave, but the group chases the bus. Gabi shoots at it, knowing James is inside. She threatens to shoot everyone on the bus unless James comes out. They make him walk in front of their car while Gabi mocks him. Gabi admits she never read his book and teases him with a negative review. When she drops her bottle, James tries to attack her, then runs into the forest. Gabi shoots at James, hitting him in the leg. He goes as far as he can before collapsing near a farm. The farmers take him in to recover. During his recovery, James has frightening hallucinations. He sees the eldest son of the victim coming to choke him, and visions of them joining the group to torture him. James wakes up and goes outside, only for the group to find him. They force him to complete his transformation by making him kill his own double. One of them gives him a knife, but he refuses and throws it away. However, his double attacks him like a wild animal, forcing James to reluctantly beat him. As he breaks down, Gabi holds James close to comfort him. The next day, James calls them to apologize for his behavior and says he's going home. He boards a bus with the group to head to the airport. James seems visibly shaken from the recent events while the others casually talk about upcoming errands. While waiting at the airport, James changes his mind and returns to the resort just as the rainy season begins. He sits by the pool in the pouring rain, completely broken from the experience.